Welcome back to the channel. This is Andrew, running with Dr. Andrew, and today is another midweek training talk. All right, guys, let's go. Guys, welcome back. Today with a midweek training talk, I'd like to talk to you about the 80-20 rule. And what that is 80% of your runs are gonna be easy and 20% of your runs are gonna be hard. And so, basically, the theory is to run slow, to run fast. And that, I used to, whenever I first started running, all of my runs would be really fast. And I never could run the next day. I'd be always too sore, or maybe a little bit of small injury, some tendonitis, something that might stop me from running the next day. And so I never would get my mileage up. It was always hard to kind of get to that point. And I started doing my easy runs, most of my runs pretty easy, with maybe occasional stride along the way, which I think is okay, but majority of the run should be pretty conversational pace. Some people do by heart rate. I don't do by heart rate because I feel like my heart rate monitor is not accurate, and so I go by just how I'm feeling. Obviously, if I'm really pushing it, I'm breathing a little bit harder compared to right now. I am going up a hill right now, so I am going to breathe a little harder, but at least conversational pace, able to conversate while you're running. And then 20% is your hard runs. Those can be your tempo runs, your speed work, your mile repeats, your interval working. All those types of runs should be about 20% of your running. For example, if you're running 100 miles in a week, maybe about 20 miles, 20% of that should be about your hard runs. Now, it's quite a bit, so obviously all of us are probably not running 100 miles, so if you're running 10 miles a week, 2 miles of that runs should be hard, and the rest of them nice and easy. So I'd like to share some benefits of doing the 80-20 rule. One benefit is I feel like that it can help out with injury prevention. You're not running as hard, but also you gain the aerobic benefits from running. And you feel fresher each day when you run. And definitely I think that's kind of important, feeling fresh and ready to go each run, especially whenever it's time to run hard. You're ready to run hard. Or when it's race time, your legs are not spent, you're ready to go hard. Now the second benefit is that it gives you a chance to build your aerobic capacity. How you build up your aerobic capacity is getting into the zone 2. That's where all the magic happens, to build up more mitochondria. And that's your powerhouse of your aerobic system. And so getting in that zone 2, so if you do heart rate training, that's kind of where you can check your heart rate to see if you're in zone 2. Or you can just kind of see how you're feeling if you're conversational pace compared to if you're out of breath. Well, I completed that 5-mile run in 44 minutes and 17 seconds, which is 8:50 minute pace. And so that definitely was a good run. And so with the 80-20 rule, that is something definitely, my pace sometimes changes depending on how hot it is, how flat the terrain is. Obviously I've got hills here, so my conversational pace is sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes 9:20, 8:50, 8:20, or 8:30 or so. This depends on how my legs are feeling at the time, as well as heart rate and heat. Heat definitely kind of helps out, but Like they kind of say that humidity and heat is kind of like the poor man's altitude. So that's what we got in Arkansas. We got hills, got a little bit of altitude, but not enough to matter with training going down to sea level there with that. And so you think about also, you know, if you look at other elite athletes, definitely compare with them. Although it's kind of hard because they are elite athletes, that's their job to do, and they've been training that for years and years at a high level. But they also train at a low level. If you kind of look at, I've heard of Kipchoge doing 8-minute to 9-minute pace with his easy runs. So you can kind of think about that. That's pretty incredible because his marathon pace is like upper 4-minute pace. He's going like 14 miles per hour for 26.2 miles. So you can definitely see that there is a value of running slower for longer periods of time, much more of your program. Then obviously you're going to book it for 20% of your program too. So the more miles obviously you're doing, the more faster and the more mileage you're going to do. Like I said, if you're doing, you know, 100 miles in a week and 20% of that is 20 miles, you're running hard. And so that definitely is something that you can kind of consider there whenever you're running, making sure that when you run hard when it's time to run hard, and run easy when it's time to run easy. I think that's going to save your legs, and you're going to have better times and have more fun. That's the main thing too, is having fun when you're running. So you're able to, if you're running slower, you're able to enjoy the weather, nature around you, and scenery behind you, or whatever is going on behind you if you're running a little bit slower there. All right, guys, this ends this video on midweek training talk and 80-20. Let me know how your training's going this week. This week is going great. I finished about 15 miles so far this week, and going for 55 miles with a 15-mile long run. And then we got one more week to the 5K race that I've got going on. All right, everyone keep safe out there, keep running, and we'll see you next time.